Dr. Saltz, thank you for being on with us. Stephanie talked a little bit about the outpouring of love and support for Anthony Bourdain's family. One of those tweets comes from Bryan Cranston, who says, when it comes to Bourdain and to Kate Spade, it illustrates that success is not immune to depression. We all need to be more aware of our friends who are suffering. So what can people do? What are the warning signs, and what should people do if they think their loved one might be struggling?
Well, actually, if they think their loved one is struggling, they should absolutely ask. They should ask whether they're suffering, whether they feel blue, how blue. But really, when it comes to suicide, if you have any inkling, you really need to ask directly. I think it's a myth that people often believe, oh, I shouldn't say anything about suicide because I might suggest it. And that is simply untrue. You should ask someone if they have thoughts of harming themselves. If they say yes, then you should ask them if they have a means or a plan of harming themselves. If they say yes, which often they do, you should take away the means in the moment. You should stay with them and be with them, and if need be, take them to an emergency room. You can absolutely save a life. There are various hallmark red flags, let's say, in terms of suicide. If someone is increasingly isolating themselves, feeling intense pain in the form of hopelessness and helplessness and worthlessness, something that causes shame is often a spark for a suicide. As you brought up, unfortunately, copycats do happen, and so I think particularly in the wake of this week, where two people who people often think, oh, they have it all, commit suicide, you have to be concerned about people in general, because the numbers have gone up dramatically in the last couple of years. And this is really a national crisis at this point. It's more deaths than people die in car accidents, in the opioid epidemic. So we have to be attuned to the fact that if you're suffering depression, there is a real possibility and you need to seek treatment. And unfortunately, stigma keeps many people from seeking treatment for themselves or even encouraging their loved one to get care.
Bottom line, we got to talk about it. We got to talk to each other. Dr. Gail Saltz, I really appreciate you joining us here. We've been showing at the bottom of your screen the number of the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, but let's say it, because if you're listening in the car, on the radio, it's 1-800-273-TALK. 1-800-273-8255. That number is out on my Twitter and my social media pages as well. It's important. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Why don't you subscribe? It's really easy. Just click on that button down there. And for more news from MSNBC, click on any of these videos here for the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more videos from MSNBC with our newsletters. Head over to msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up.